Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, pour the wine. No, the big glass. You are not going to believe the absolute nightmare my life has been since September. I feel like I'm living in a Lifetime movie, but one of the really dark, gritty ones where the main character is slowly losing her mind. So you know how things were. Fine, or at least I thought they were fine. But in September, everything just blew up. My husband, my loving, stable husband, was charged with a domestic. Yes, police charges, the whole 9 yards. Let me back up because I can see your jaw on the floor. It started on a random morning. I literally just said, "Good morning." That's it. 2 words. I walked into the room, coffee in hand, trying to be a human being, and he snapped. It wasn't just an argument, babe. He threw me against the wall, physically picked me up and threw me. For saying good morning. I remember hitting the drywall and just sliding down, trying to catch my breath, my brain completely short-circuiting. Like, who is this man? This isn't the guy I married. It turned out that it was a medication issue. Apparently, whatever cocktail of meds he was on had some psychotic side effect, and he wasn't himself. They've sorted the meds now. He's back to being him, supposedly. But that doesn't unthrow me against the wall, does it? His court date is this month. Can you imagine the stress? I'm living with this looming date over my head like a guillotine. He's doing everything the court told him to do. He's in court-ordered counseling, he's in his own personal therapy, and, God help me, we've started couples counseling. And that is a whole other circle of hell. Sitting in a room with the man who terrified me, trying to talk about communication styles, while my body is literally screaming at me to run. You know my history. You know I'm not coming into this with a clean slate. I'm already damaged goods, let's be real. I have the PTSD, I have the BPD. And we both know exactly where that comes from. The childhood sexual abuse. The things that happened to me when I was just a kid. It wired my brain wrong. It made me terrified of men, terrified of intimacy, terrified of not being in control. And then, remember my ex-husband? The one before this one. The one who used to choke me out when he got mad. Yeah. So when my current husband, the one who was supposed to be the safe one, slammed me into that wall, it wasn't just that moment happening. It was every moment happening. It triggered everything. It felt like every man who has ever hurt me, every man who has ever sawed me was in the room right then and there. I'm trying, girl, I really am. I'm back in DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. I'm doing the work. You know I've done this a million times. I've been institutionalized for this. I know the drill. I know the skills. But knowing them and using them when your husband has turned into a monster are two very different things. So here is the current situation. We are separated. Kind of. He's not living here. Thank God, because I don't think I could sleep if he was in the house. But we're working on it. But working on it looks like a disaster from where I'm standing. I can't let him touch me. I literally recoil. Last time we saw each other, he reached out to just, touch my arm or something, and my skin crawled. I felt that cold panic wash over me, the kind that starts in your stomach and makes your fingers tingle. I'm terrified of what's going to happen when, or if, he comes back home. And it's not just the fear of him, it's the fear of me. I'm afraid of my own reaction. Remember last December, when I started getting those flashbacks of the CSA really bad, I started having these rages. That's the only word for it. It's like a blackout fury. I haven't had a full-on rage episode in a while, but the alternative hasn't been much better. I am dissociating constantly. It is awful. You know how you zone out on the highway sometimes? Imagine that, but for weeks. I have lost weeks of my life since September. Entire chunks of time just gone. Poof. I've apparently had full conversations with people that I 100% do not remember. Like, people will text me saying, "Hey, about what we talked about Tuesday," and I'm staring at the phone thinking, I didn't talk to you Tuesday. I don't even remember Tuesday existing. It makes me feel like I'm going crazy. Am I going crazy? Don't answer that. And then there's him. When I do see him or when we talk, he gets so needy. He gives me these puppy dog eyes. He wants reassurance. He wants to be held, and I get it logically. In his head, the medication was the bad guy, and now that it's fixed, we should be fixed. But he wasn't the one thrown against the wall, and now he wants something from me I just can't give. He wants his wife back. And the way he asks for it feels like a whole new kind of attack. Because he doesn't have the body memory of the impact. He doesn't have the flashbacks overlapping with the childhood trauma and the abusive ex. All he sees is his wife acting cold and distant, and so he gets clingy. And his clinginess makes me want to scream. It feels suffocating. It feels like another form of assault, him demanding emotional intimacy when I can't even handle physical proximity. I don't know how to get over this. Is that bad to say? I feel like a bad wife. I feel like a failure of a patient. My therapist keeps talking about radical acceptance. It's this big DBT concept. Basically, you have to accept that reality is what it is without judgment so you can move past it. I know I need to radically accept that the incident happened. I need to accept that it was the meds. I need to accept where we are now. But I'm stuck. I am cemented in that moment in September. I know it's a me problem. I do. I know my BPD is making this harder because my brain doesn't do gray areas. It does black and white. He hurt me, therefore he is bad. Splitting is a bitch, isn't it? I'm trying to see the nuance. I'm trying to see the medical explanation. But every time I close my eyes, I feel the wall against my back, and then I check out. I float away into the dissociation fog because it's safer there than being in a body that has been hurt so many times. I don't know if I can ever let him move back in. I don't know if I can ever look at him without seeing the violence. And the guilt is eating me alive because he's trying so hard now with the counseling and the court stuff. But is trying hard enough to erase the fact that I'm scared of him? I feel broken, babe, just completely shattered. I'm doing the counseling. I'm taking my meds. I'm doing the workbook. But I feel like I'm just going through the motions while my actual self is screaming in a glass box somewhere deep inside my head. Anyway, that's the tea. That's why I've been MIA. My husband is a domestic violence statistic. I'm a dissociative mess. And we're paying a fortune in therapy bills to figure out if we can stand to be in the same room without one of us breaking down. Pass the bottle. I think I need the whole thing. What would you do? Tell me I'm not crazy for thinking I might never get over this. Because right now, forever feels like a really long time to be afraid in your own home.